Hello! The tutorial you're about to watch is a part of a course called Arduino 0 to Hero. Link is in the first line of the description for much more, 52 lectures and everything you need to master Arduino. Hello and welcome! In this tutorial we're going to use 4 LEDs and control them to create different patterns of light and even sort of random patterns. Now, the circuit is here on the board, and just like we did in the previous tutorial, we're just going to connect 4 of them initially through a resistor and then into the earth. So I guess if the first LED here is a 6, I can go in and build that one. So we declare it int, we can call it LED1 equals to 6. We can pin mode here, pin mode LED1 is an output. We could have put 6 instead of LED1, and digital right 6 is high. So here we go. Where is pin 6? Right there. Let me merge this for you guys. So pin 6 goes in there, that goes into the breadboard, then that goes into a resistor, and then that goes into the minus which hasn't been moved over. And I think if I upload this, that light should come on. Brilliant. And we can kind of face it to the camera. That's our start. And if you want to be, I'm going to actually try to be a bit neat for you guys and try to make everything ultra visible. I'll take this out and I'm going to do this instead. I'm not going to be doing this in future tutorials. I just want the first couple that have breadboarding to be really clear. So what you can do is if you have, if you've got your arrangement here with the Arduino and the breadboard or solidly in place, you can put the resistors in first and the wire. You can put the wire going into the resistor. What I normally do for myself when building circuits, I basically use these really long wires, but for visual purposes, we're gonna leave it like this. So I will now wire up the rest of the LEDs. Dun, dun, dun. You can go in. It doesn't really matter which holes they go into. Guess you can go there. You can go there. Dun, dun, dun. It is. So and 6, 8. And the last one is going to take some stretching. Oh, there it is. 6, 8, 10, 12. Dun, dun. So let me have a view of the code now. Okay, so right now we can copy and paste 2, 3, 4, 8, 10, 12. And for the teachable moment, if we declared like LED 2 as output, we should still see that LED having a little bit of power. Essentially what that output does is supply the LED with power. It kind of looks like it doesn't work. But all it is that LED has now got a microscopic amount of power compared to when you declare it as an output. That's what the role of outputs are. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And 6, 8, 10, 12. So this should turn them all on. And that's pretty good. So interestingly, these red ones, to me they all seem equally bright, but to the camera the red ones seem less bright. So let's see what we can do here. Do something interesting. Put in some delays. So maybe turn them all on and then turn them all off. And then put this to low. 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 So they'll all go on, they'll all go off, and we can put a delay. Delay 1,000. Delay 1,000. Now they're blinking like that. And you can do all kinds of various things here. For example, that's going to have the lights come on one at a time. Watch that. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they're going to go all off together. And we can also have all kinds of patterns. The 2 right on, then the 2 left off, and so on. We can have the greens and the reds alternate. It doesn't really matter. And another thing, since you declare these names, and the reason why we put the names in is because when the programs get large, you may not know, for example, what 6 is, what 8 is. Is it a light? Is it a buzzer? Is it a button? So generally speaking, we would be replacing the numbers with the allocated names. And as you can see, I'm just literally pasting in the names, and that should be a completely identical program. So that was a sloppy mistake on my part, which turned into an awesome teachable moment, and I'm kind of glad I made it. So now I need to make sure the light's okay. Now I'm gonna show you a really neat trick. I'm gonna turn one of these lights on, and I'll pick a random one. Check this out. So if we're gonna turn delay 1,000, so we're gonna use the random function in Arduino, and that's random, and you inside the 2 brackets pull in the range, and the range should be 1 through to 4. And just for fun, now I don't know if that includes the 4. We're gonna find out really quickly. In many programming languages, random includes that higher number, but I think in C, it'll be random between the first 3 lights. So let's have a look. Delay 100. So we should have like 10 times a second the random light go on. Oh, what am I doing? We don't have lights. We don't have lights 1, 2, 3, 4. We have LED 1, LED 2, LED 3, LED 4. So I could basically, since they're all between 6 and 12, I could write 6, 12. and we're gonna have an effect. Have a look. So the fourth one never seems to be coming on. So if we did 13, I believe that any of the 4 lights could come on. Yeah. There you have it. So I believe perhaps we could do a much more interesting job if we randomized, I guess, all of them. Let me show you what I mean by that. Instead of high or low, you can use 1 and 0. So you can go random 0, 2. And this is going to give us 1 or 0, because remember, we tried. When we put the 12 there, the 12 didn't come. And this could be LED 1. And we could copy this line for all 4. And that should give us a pretty cool, by the way, instead of turning it off for a second, watch this. This should be pretty fun. Maybe 200 would have been a nicer delay, so it's 5 times a second. The status is going to change. Have a look. And there you have it. What we have generated is a pretty cool random light pattern. So just to reiterate the lessons of today, when naming variables, you can, it doesn't matter like the fact that this is text, this is just a variable name, but you say that it's an integer, so that's being a round number and you refer it to a pin. So now the number 12 and LED 4 are essentially interchangeable. You can write 12 or LED 4 to the compiler. It's as if you're writing the same thing. We have a random function, and the random function generates a random integer, and it generates it between the number that's first before the comma and the number 1 lower than the high number. So in this case, it's a 0 or a 1. And you could have had a random delay here. You know, we could have had random 100 to 600. And that in itself would make a random delay, which would make that look even more, would require a comma. So that's how the random works. So there you have it. And one little trick for future reference, Control-T automatically indents everything. Excellent. I will see you in the next tutorial where we are going to introduce little push buttons that are going to control the light patterns. Bye-bye.